easy way to not hate a character I was playing. Because I was a fan of the show, and I was a fan of him. And to me, it made sense to me who he was. I don't justify his actions. He did horrible things. I justify John's actions, mind you. And Negan I can't justify. But I understand more, and here's Negan I thought did a great job of telling the story of this guy. And it wasn't a beautiful story, it wasn't this love story. It wasn't, he was cheating on his wife. He loved his wife, but he cheated on her. So that's shitty. If I did that, my wife would kill me. I'd never have a chance to try to help her. Or somebody chopped off. It wouldn't be fun. Right? So, but it was a chance to tell a story. And I did work with my wife, and we did that during COVID. And that's really, it was me. I was like, we did these COVID episodes. We did 6 episodes of the show. And it was hard to do because we didn't want to bring in any new actors. Because we were, you know, if you remember, we were all living in these weird bubbles. And we were living in a bubble. Those of us on The Walking Dead. And so if we brought in another actor, I'd never be able to have any kind of intimate moments with them. And so I said, well, what about my wife? I live with her. She's in my bubble. And because she's in my bubble, she's also in your bubble. And we were actually living in the set, on the set of Alexandria at the time. We were living in Rick's house, in fact. Isn't that weird? Yeah. Negan and his family lived in Rick's house. Let that sink in. And like Gus and George like writing on the walls. There was like holes in the walls where like me and Rick had been in a fight the year before where I'd smashed Lucille and he had ducked. And my kids would write, "Dad was here." It was cool. And I think those holes are still there. I think whoever bought that house kept a couple of those. I thought it's an answer to any fucking question, but there's some trivia for you. Did we get that at all? Did we answer it?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it gets. I also feel like it shares the action perspective, right? Like I had that debate before about your character, that I feel like it's not like it's just a villain. It has a development.
Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier about continuing to play Negan. It's getting to show those different sides of him, and that's development. And so he's not one-sided. He's not, in the comic book, he was more kind of one-dimensional, literally and figuratively. And so I think that we got to kind of expand on that. That was the one benefit of the comic book kind of ending when it did, is that we kind of got to do more, especially with a character like Negan. I think it was harder with other characters, and I love following Kirkman's book, by the way. I was talking earlier with somebody, I don't remember who, about how for the first couple of years we would shoot it, if you're familiar with the comics, Negan, every other word is an F-bomb. Like literally every other word. And so I would memorize it 2 ways for the first couple of years, and do it the TV way, and then I would do it the comic book way. And man, the comic book way was so much fun. And I always did the comic book way when I was off camera. So if it was Andy, Rick, if it was Rick that was on camera and I was off, I was giving him full comic book Negan with every F-bomb and every dirty, cruel, and man, it would have been fun if y'all had seen that. It was crazy. You would really hate Negan. But man, it was fun. And it was great for someone like Andy, the way he works. Because man, I would get him so frustrated. Off camera, he'd be like, "Fucking Morgan, knock it off." You know? But he loved it. He loved it. He feeds off that stuff. He's that kind of guy. But anyway, yeah. Developing character.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I can talk about that kind of shit all day. I don't like talking about that, but it feels so like dirty when you talk about acting, I think. don't know why. Actors. Such wankers. Hi.
Hi.
Finland.
Finland?
Oh, you're not. I thought you were this girl from Finland. I'm sorry.
I can be here.
No. You shouldn't be here. Let me hear your Finnish accent.
I can do Donna, I can't do Finland. I'm sorry.
It's a good accent. What do you got?
So my name is Heather.
Hi, Heather.
This is, I've talked to you before and everything. My girlfriend.
Yeah, I thought you were from Finland.
My girlfriend Vicky, this is her second con and she's terrified of getting up to ask questions.
Okay.
So I'm asking the question for her.
Okay. Where is she?
She's right there.
Raise your hand. I see you. Okay, so I'm going to pretend you're asking this. I'm going to look at you. And I just want you to go like this. Because my eyes suck, and I'll think you're coming. Go ahead. What you got, Vicky?
So the question is, how can you play so charming and so menacing at the same time?
Vicky, excellent question. And excellent, like doing this. It really looked like you were talking. It was so good that I didn't know what the question is. How can you play so menacing and charming at the same time?
Menacing and charming.
Well, I think that that's your perception more than anything, Vicky. I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to figure out if I know how to answer this. And again, it's an acting thing. And what was that? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, my girlfriend said
That's all I needed right there. I'm a good fucking actor. Look, the key there is the villain aspect, right? For me, it is. It's the menacing aspect. And I always thought that something was more menacing with a smile. You know, it's not yelling and screaming and getting in somebody's face and spitting blood. It's a little smile, it's a whisper, it's that. I find that to be much more menacing. And if you can add a little bit of humor, if you can add a twinkle in the eye, a certain amount of charm, because I know what to do to play charming. But how to work that in, being a villain and being menacing, is sort of the key. And I think that it's an experiment, which I've never been afraid of. You know what I mean? I think it's good. Otherwise, you're just kind of again stuck in a one. One fucking, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. What's your funny? Thank you. One horse pony. That's what it was in the bag, by the way. One horse pony, and I'm like, well, that's not right. Dyslexia. It rears its head when you're least expecting it. Try not to say that shit out loud, and then I'm like, one horse pony. Oh God, I'm on stage talking right now. Anyway, one trick pony. I don't know what we were even talking about. Did I answer the menacing charm thing?
Yes, you did.
Vicky, did I?
Yes, you did, sir.
Thank you. She speaks fun. I bet she get up that mic now and like go off. Questions? Okay. Sorry, I forgot the rules of the game.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hi.
My name's Olivia.
Hi, Linda.
So do you think Negan and Rick are ever going to be back on screen together? And how do you anticipate their character interaction will go?
I think the goal, the big dream, is for me, Rick, and Norman, and maybe LC and Denai. And Carol, Jesus Christ. I was like, who's the most important person? And Melissa. I think, that's the six of us that have done these, kind of gone off and done like the spin-offs where they did the miniseries. I think that if AMC and like Gimple had their way. That's the dream. And that was the dream when we initially did the spin-offs. And then timelines and stuff is all kind of ranky right now. So we have to like, try to realign and you know, and try to get people to get on the same schedule is nearly impossible. But I think that that would, for us, be a dream come true. But then again, you get us all together, it's just like The Walking Dead. That's basically, yeah, Jeff, that's the point. That's what we want. Fuck these spin-offs. Hey, talk to AMC. All right, I had nothing to do with it. I'm kidding. Everybody gets quiet. Like, oops, we told him too much. But yeah, it would be a dream. It would be a dream. I mean, come on. And we've talked about, like Andy and I have talked about what that would look like. See, the thing is we think that Andy and Negan would actually kind of get along if it weren't for the fact that, you know, he's looking out for his people and I'm looking out for mine. They were kind of like-minded in a lot of ways, and we've had pretty funny talks about it. So we'll see. I think there would be a hell of a way for Negan in this story getting killed by Rick at some point, you know? Yeah. That'd be my way. If I had to pick a way to get killed or leave that show, it'd be by Rick. I just happen to believe that they sort of dig each other, would protect each other.
Blame son.
I do. I do. Fight me on it. You gotta understand, it's been, you know, Negan was in jail. I always forget this. Negan was in jail in show years, something like in the arc of the show, he was in jail for six or 7 years. That was that span of that arc of when I was in that jail cell. It was something like 6 or 7 years. So Negan's been around for like 14 years or some shit. 15 years? I don't know. It's so long. So long. So a lot of those initial fights are 15-year-old fights. And so they're as new as they are, they seem, and like, oh man, that was 15 years ago on the show. So even like Lauren's like, do I have to be ready? And like, yeah, like still? You saved my life like 8 times. I'm like, I know. Tell them that. Because I hear about it every autograph thing through my line. They're like, you killed Glenn. Thank you. I remember. Is that good? Did we do it? Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey.
Again.
Hi.
So my question is completely off that subject because I never watched it. I didn't like it. It was too bloody for me. But what I want to know about...
I mean, he made spaghetti.
I can make spaghetti. Maybe.
You can't knock someone's eyeball out of their skull. I'm teasing. What do you want to talk about?
So what I want to know is about Mischief Farms and the critters. You had the website and it just kind of didn't...
That's because me and my wife, it's a lot of work. It's just like that. But blame that on Hillary, by the way. I was never like, ooh, let's do a social media site about our farm. That was not me.
Tell Hillary she dropped the ball.
She dropped the ball? I can't wait to tell her. And I am. I'm going to be like, honey, I sat down with this, like, 1,000 people, and they were really nice, and they were genuine, asked really great questions, but man, they are just, you let them down. This website, you know, let people have insight into our lives, because y'all need more. My critters are interesting. I'm going to tell you this about my critters. They all hate me. They all want to kill me. This is what happens when you rescue abused and abandoned animals, is they never trust humans again. And I'm the guy that's like, it's going to be fun. Give me a little bit of time. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change my 7,000-pound Highland cattle into being a people person. Watch, I don't need a fence between us. 12 feet up in the air. Coming down on horn. I'm good. She let me live. I'm like, good. I'm like, thank you, Alice. That was actually her on a good day. There's a couple animals that really like me, and there's a couple animals, I'm telling you, it's just, they don't trust people ever again. I've had some animals for, well, Alice is a good example. I've had her for over 10 years now, and she's still just like, I don't trust people. And I'm like nice to her. Like genuinely nice to her, but I'll never just like run around next to her again. And I used to go in and like, it'd be kind of cool. I just got cocky. It's my fault. I got an alpaca that spit on me every time I see it. I've had it forever. And it's not just when I go like to shave them once a year. It's like me feeding them and all of a sudden, just green bile on my face. And I'm like, you know, the people at the convention should see this. The life of glamour.
What about Jack and Diane?
Jack and Diane. Jack is maybe the meanest animal I've ever met in my life. We've learned he is a zonkey. We got an official. So he's half zebra, half donkey, and he thinks people are ridiculous. He thinks donkeys are ridiculous. The only thing that he tolerates is Diane. Diane is cool. I like Diane. Diane is very nice. She will, eat out of my hand. The only time that she is not nice is when I'm trying to feed her, and then Jack gets all riled up and ruins the love fest. And he does. He's like, no, Diane, you can't be nice to these people. Seriously, and so they kind of stick together. Anyway, it's a soap opera always at our house. I will say this, all the animals want to kill us all except for George. Ever since she was big enough to, even me carrying her around before she even walked, whatever it is she's got, the animals think she's great. And she can be standing next to me, and the animals will I'm going to give you 10 feet, or we're going to try to kill you. The second I step away, they all come to the fence. And it's just, she's got this little thing. She's got this thing that is magical. And she says, Dad, I'm going to be a teacher, or I'm going to be a veterinarian, or I'm going to be a dragon rider. And I'm like, well, do the dragon thing. That's rad. Yeah, she's the magical one in the family. She's got the way with the animals, and I just saw this out of the corner of my eye. I was like a caution test on all right, well, I haven't been looking behind me. I was like, what the fuck is that? Happy Thanksgiving. And Pie Day. Anyway, I'm going to tell my wife to get cracking on that website. Is it the website? I know. Is it the website or is it the Instagram that's bad? They both suck. The ball's been dropped on both. Okay. All right. I don't do either, but I'm going to yell at someone. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too. All of you, actually. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Hey, how are you?
My name's Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
We're so great. Thanks for being here.
Oh, I love you too.
So you've been acting for some time now, so you're very so you're a very good actor.
That was the subtext. So you're old, dude. You've been doing this for a little while now. Yeah.
So I was just wondering, actors have good and bad days. So what's one of your worst days on set?
Oh, so many. So many. A bad day on set for me is getting last second changes. Doesn't matter what it is. Because I have dyslexia, it's it's not the easiest for me to get the last second, and that happens a lot, by the way. Some people can roll with it. The boys, you can give them words 1 second before we shoot the scene, and they'll have them memorized. I used to show up and work in Supernatural, and they would memorize their line. Catherine Heigl was like this too. Never looked at the script until the morning of, and then would be like in her makeup chair, learning lines that we were going to be doing in like 7 minutes, and would know the scene like that. And meanwhile, I need like a week, to learn, anything, my name. So that always creates a little bit of tension in my direction. Last second changes are hard for me. Not that I blame anyone, especially if it's getting better. It's just hard. I don't love 16-hour days anymore. The one good thing that came out of the whole COVID situation was suddenly our days, they didn't work anybody past 10 hours. I was like, fuck, let's keep the COVID. I can do it. Because, you get overly tired, you tend to get sick. Now, unfortunately, I'm back to, counting out the 16-hour days. And that's, by the way, when I feel old. That and like, trying to bounce off the concrete, like I don't do that like I used to either. Yeah, I can take my own hits. Yeah, I got that. Somebody was making fun of me earlier. They saw a picture of me wearing Crocs during the last season of Walking Dead. Because I had 2 broken feet from like jumping out of something with just like a pair of boots like these on, and I broke my heels. And I never missed a day of work, but I had to wear Crocs, so they had to shoot me from like the knees up. So that's why Negan didn't do this anymore. It had the same effect if you could only see this much of them. It just looked like I had a tick. So, yeah. But that's it, dude. I feel really lucky to still be working. And so there's no really bad days. I mean, I can bitch about I'm getting words late and I can't memorize them. I can bitch about not being able to bounce off the pavement. But the truth of the matter is, I get to do what I love. And I get to work with mostly people I super love. I got a room full of people that fucking want to listen to the ridiculous that comes out of my mouth. And then have really great questions and want to know about stuff I did 20 years ago. That's fucking awesome. I mean, it really is. It's like the coolest thing in the world. And so I'm incredibly blessed to be continuing to do the shit I love. And I've been on some great shows that have great fans, and I'm really lucky. So, what I love about I will do my best.
Hello, my name is Danielle, and I'm here with my mother, Dawn.
Hi, Danielle. Hi, Dawn.
So this is actually kind of from both of us. We used to have a bad relationship. We fought all the time, kind of like John and Sam, actually. And so quite by accident, we discovered we both loved Supernatural. And the day we found out about it, we actually spent 16 hours on the phone talking about the show, and I called her back tomorrow, and we talked about it again for 13 more hours, and it just went like that. We actually were...
Do y'all not live in the same state?
We did before. Our relationship was like, I'm living 2,000 miles away from you.
Oh, I got you. I was going to say, when did we go over her house?
Our relationship actually got better because of Supernatural and everything, and I actually moved back to Florida to be closer to her. And I just wanted to say, I appreciate John Winchester. It's very easy to watch an entire show and say, John should have gotten there. If John had not prepared his voice, Sam still would have been taken by the demons when he was 22. Dean would have had no idea what to do. And
You wouldn't have had a show for 20 years.
I think John did a good job. I think he did the best with what he could have done.
I appreciate that. It's not often But I hear that, T. I usually spend an hour arguing about John and how he raised his children. I just found out, much later than I should have, that John had done some pretty questionable fucking things. Because the John that I knew, the one that I played, the one that I read when I was John, loved his sons, and he loved his sons so much that he sacrificed his life for them. And then I find out all this horrible stuff that they filmed long after I was gone. I was like, well, I didn't even know that. And I remember the first convention I did in Las Vegas 100 years ago, finding this out for the first time, because I was shocked that people didn't like John. And now it's been a 10-year argument, So thank y'all. That's what I meant to say.
I did the single parent thing, and I can tell you that is hard enough without
Demons.
keeping 2 kids fed without benefits, a steady job. And yeah, I've always thought that women do express for a long time.
Now, I should let you borrow my daughter because she's a child and a demon.
John did not get enough credit. This was just Joe the mechanic who found out one day that he was living in a world that was more dangerous than anything he could have imagined. And suddenly he just had to deal with it. And did he do everything perfectly? No. Did he make mistakes? Yes. But everything he did because he loves those boys so much. And he wanted to
Oh, yeah.
I will take that all day. And yes, glad y'all are together and those fences have been mended. And if Supernatural had something to do with that, yay, Supernatural.
Yay, Jeffrey Dean!